My name is Seisha, and you may know me as Thick Thigh Yoga. Today, we are doing a half an hour ish, a half an hour warm up, full body, basically the beginning of a yoga class. All of my classes pretty much start with um, the flow that we're about to do, with obviously some changes, some differences depending on the day, depending on what we're focused on. And I really wanted to give you another opportunity. I have other classes posted. I wanted to give you another opportunity to really get to see what a general start to a beginner friendly yoga class can really feel like for you. A lot of people question whether my classes are beginner friendly. All of my classes, all of my sessions, all of my retreats, everything is beginner friendly because I want to provide that access to people. Now, the thing that you need to keep in mind is all of the classes are beginner friendly if you're ready to listen. So, if I say you have the option to put down your knees, or you have the option to put down your forearms and use your forearms and take the weight out of your wrists, and your wrists are killing you, or your core is killing you, you are really struggling to keep your knees up, you're not listening to the beginner instructions. So, I say that to say, all of the classes are beginner friendly. Everything I'm about to give you will have modifications and options. And if you're not ready to take those modifications on your own, if you're not ready to really take that in, you need a one on one session. You need somebody telling you directly, you do this, you put your knees down, you put your forearms down, you do this. If that really is what you need, start off with a private session. I offer those online as well. You can find everything in the link down below. And my website is thickthighyoga.com. I am Thick Thigh Yoga on Instagram, Thick Thigh Yoga on TikTok, Thick Thigh Yoga here on YouTube. I am Thick Thigh Yoga everywhere, and I would love to work with you. Um, Now that all that has been said, all you need to do is put your phone on silent and find yourself some space. If you don't have a yoga mat, I do suggest that, or some sort of mat down, so that you have a better concept of the space you're using. But just having some space, a towel, a rug, something that makes it nice and soft under your hands or your knees when we go to things that are on our knees, take that. If you do have things around like a knee pad, you know that that's useful for you, as well as maybe blocks or something like that, you can grab those things too if you know that that is helpful for your practice. And if you don't know what any of these things are for, that's something to pay attention to towards the end. What are you feeling? What do you feel like could have supported you? Again, those are questions that you can only answer for yourself. I can't answer them for you, but I can give you some options. A private session, again, can be helpful because then you're receiving that one on one support and guidance. With all that said, let's get started. So you're gonna take a nice, comfortable seat on your mat. If sitting like this is not comfortable for you, you can sit with the legs out. You can sit with them wide. Sit in a way that is comfortable for you. Find your tall spine. Your shoulders should stack on top of your hips no matter what, and that's what our focus is. From here, I invite you to bring your eyes to a close or a soft gaze so there are no visual distractions. You can place the palms up on the lap if you'd like to receive the energy that's already been created in your space today. You can place them down if you're feeling overcharged, like you want to release to start your practice and feel a little more grounded. Inhale, belly, ribs, chest, take up space. Exhale, chest, ribs, belly. Inhale, belly, ribs, chest. Feel your shoulders expand, your chest open, your heart open, the spine lengthen. Exhale, chest, ribs, belly. Release the tension. Feel the belly button pull into the spine. Inhale, belly, ribs, chest. Exhale, chest, ribs, belly. Continue these rounds of breath, and I'd like you to try and set an intention for today's session. How would you like to feel? What would you like to accomplish? Or maybe, what would you like to release? If you have something you know you want to let go of, on your next inhale, you can put it in a nice big bubble in your belly. And on your exhale, let it float out of the mouth. Let it go. Exhale, send the chin down to the chest. Feel the shoulders release. Release any tension that you're feeling in the throat, neck, shoulders, arms, hands, fingers. As you inhale and exhale here with the head heavy, we find a nice tall spine and still spread the shoulders even though our head is down. And then as we exhale, we find a closer spot for the chin to the chest, and the belly button still pulls all the way into the spine. Feel that engagement. 2 more rounds of breath here. Inhale, find your tall spine, roll the head all the way back up tall. Send the gaze forward. Option to flutter the eyes open or keep them closed. We're not moving anywhere. You can flip the palms if you feel like that's more comfortable. And again, if you feel like it's the time to change the way you're sitting, change it. Doesn't matter. Inhale. Nice big tall spine, fill up the lungs. Exhale, one more time, we're gonna send the chin down to the chest, but now we're gonna make circles. Roll the ear to the shoulder, back of the head to the spine, ear to opposite shoulder, and chin back down to chest. Continue these rolls. And remember, those spaces that I just gave you, they are thoughts, they are images, they are not actually what I expect to happen. You don't have to be touching. You're not doing it wrong if you're not touching your ear or the back of your head to your spine or your shoulder. If you're making these spaces and going in the directions, you're doing it fine. There might be some extra clicking and cracking that you're feeling and you're hearing. That's okay. Change direction and your circles roll the opposite way. Ear to shoulder, back of the head to spine, ear to opposite shoulder, chin back down to chest. Nice big circles. Take your time. If you feel like the second side is more challenging, that is also normal. Because the first time I told you to do it, you went the way you wanted to go. And the second time, now you have to do the other side. That's just how that works. When you're ready, come to some stillness. We're going to send the crown of the head back up to the sky. Mm. Feel the length from your hips to your shoulders, tall spine here. We're going to roll the shoulders up, back, down, and around. Squeeze them high by the ears. Squeeze the shoulder blades together as they roll down the back. Nice big circles. Again, you might feel some crunchiness and clickiness right there. That's fine. Change direction in your circle. Roll the opposite way. Feel the shoulder blades squeeze together behind you. Let them roll up and forward. Come to some stillness. Release those shoulders down away from the ears. Inhale, sweep both arms up. Reach nice and tall. Feel that length first. Length from your hips to your fingertips. Reach up tall. You feel the shoulders squeeze. Interlace the fingers overhead. Flip the palms to the sky. We're going to let those shoulders release down away from the ears. Your elbows will round out just a little bit. And you feel the stretch across the shoulders, right? Across the back. 3 more breaths here. Option to look up towards the hands. Maybe you send the hands back just slightly towards the wall behind you where the ceiling and the wall meet. Opens up the heart, gives you a little back bend. Inhale it back up through center. We're going to release the hands. Reach up nice and tall. You're going to take a twist to the right. Look like you're trying to look over your right shoulder. Twist your whole body from your hips to the fingertips. Right hand comes down behind the spine like a kickstand. We're going to let it rest there. Left hand comes across the right thigh. Press into the right hand, lengthen. Press into the left. Look back over your back shoulder, twist. If you're looking at me in the video, look over your right shoulder and twist. One more inhale here. Can you lengthen? One more exhale. Can you twist a little deeper? Inhale back up through center. Both arms go up. We come up facing forward. Exhale, opposite side. Left hand comes down behind the spine. Right hand comes across that left thigh. Press into the left hand, lengthen. Press into the right hand, twist, and look back. Same thing here. You should be looking over your left shoulder. What's behind you? You should see that. Inhale, sweep the arms up through center. Reach up nice and tall. Exhale, belly button pulls into the spine. That's all we're doing right here. Inhale, belly, ribs, chest. Exhale, fold. Let the hands come forward. Wherever the hands reach is perfect. If you feel like the legs you need to untuck, come back, untuck. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Same thing. If your legs are in the way, move them. Option here to bend in the elbows, sink a little deeper. We want to think about keeping our spine nice and long though, so as we tilt forward, our whole body is tilting forward. You should feel that in the hips, the activation in the hips, whether your legs are tucked in or not. And it is early, remember that we just started. So if it doesn't feel super good or open yet, that's okay. Exhale, start to walk the hands back, slide them back, find your tall spine. We're going to send the head over to the right side. Right ear reaches for the right shoulder. Right hand comes up and over the head on top of the left temple. Let the hand weigh the head down here. Feel that stretch in the top side of the neck, opening up. Try to think about releasing the shoulder away from the ear. 2 more breaths here. If you're pressing too hard, stop. Press a little lighter. If you feel like you want a little more, get a little deeper. That's okay. You are in control. Opposite side, release the right hand. Send the crown of the head up to the sky. You can really feel the difference right now, I bet. And we're going to send the head over to the left side. Crown of the head reaches to the left side, left ear to left shoulder, left hand comes on top of the right temple to weigh down the head. Same thing here. Try to release that shoulder away from the ear. Feel the stretch down the neck. It can be pretty intense. If it's too much, you're making it too much. You can release it a little bit. You can come up a little higher. Remember, you are in control. Slowly release the hand, release the head, going back up and forward. From here, we're going to sweep the legs around and come to our tabletop position. For tabletop, your shoulders stacks on top of your wrist, your hip stacks on top of your knee, your back is flat. So think of yourself like the best coffee table ever. Your wrist and your hand and your knee are also in line on railroad tracks, right? So I want you to think about that as far as yoga goes and as far as your alignment goes. A lot of the time we're just thinking of ourselves on railroad tracks or like a ladder, right? We've got all these rungs going across. We can keep things across and in line, and we've got these 2 long sides all the way down. Gaze is down right between the hands. You want to look up to be curious to see what's happening. I get it. Look down. Because when we are standing, we don't send our head straight up to the sky. We look forward. This is the same thing. Your back is flat. We wrap the elbows in. Gaze is down and forward directly between either the pointer fingers or the thumbs, but right in the middle of your mat. Depending on how that feels for your body. If you feel like this is a lot on the knees, again, this is a great time for your knee pad. Slide that knee pad underneath. And you've got some extra cushion. If you don't have a knee pad, you can put a towel or a towel or a blanket, or even just take a fold in your mat, double it up, create a little more cushion for your knees to come down. From here, in your tabletop position, gaze down between the hands. Inhale, drop the belly, arch the back, lift the gaze, lift the tailbone, fill up the lungs. Imagine you're pouring out a bowl from in between your hips, right? This will always help you tilt your hips properly. We're going to tuck the tailbone, tuck the chin, scoop with that same bowl. Gaze is down, you're looking back towards your legs, right? You're trying to look at your knees here to lift the spine, press the floor away, keep the engagement all the way through the shoulders. This is your cat-cow. Inhale, drop the belly, arch the back, lift the gaze, lift the tailbone, fill up the lungs. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, tuck the chin around the spine, empty out the lungs. Inhale, lift. You're gonna start to add in any motions or movements you feel you need in the body at this time. You can slide forward, slide back, you tuck the toes, stretch out the feet, send the hips side to side, make circles, make C's with the spine. If your lower back is tight, maybe from sitting all day, you can take low hip circles. You can take low hip circles just like you can take your spinal circles in the middle, right? You have a lot of options here. Do what feels right for your body. If your wrists are really killing you right now, come down to the forearms, right? Or honestly, if you would just like to take the weight out of your wrists for this, you can come down to your forearms and do all the things that I just said. Nothing else changes, but the weight comes out of your wrists because that's uncomfortable for you. If it is not, stay up, and that's fine. We're gonna take 2 more rounds of breath here. And when you're ready, you can come to some stillness. Reset back into your tabletop. Again, shoulders stacked on top of the wrists, hips stacked on top of the hands and knees on railroad tracks. I'm gonna walk forward a little bit here so I have space to step back on my mat. We're gonna step back with the right foot. So the right foot steps all the way back. We're long. The whole right side of the body looks like a plank. I chose to do the side in the back so that you could see. The other side of the body just looks like tabletop. Nothing else has changed, but the right side is long. We're thinking long, straight line, shoulder, hip, knee, heel. Press into the ball of the foot, stretch out that heel. Same option for forearms. If you feel like coming down to the forearms, come down to the forearms. Press back into that heel, stretch it out, feel the stretch down the back of the leg, anchor down the ball of the foot and the big toe. Start to roll around here. You also get a bit of work in your shoulders and your core. You can roll around, roll onto the top of the foot. You might get some extra clicks and cracks there. You can roll the inside of the foot down. That opens your hip up to the top. That might feel really good. It might feel like a lot of work. And you also might feel the work building up on that left hip. That's okay. I know about it too. We are going to do something about that. Don't you worry. 2 more rounds of breath here. Just stretching and opening that up. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, step the right knee back in. Windshield wiper the hips. We're gonna, everybody come down to the forearms. Shake and roll out the wrists. Because it can be kind of a lot of work. Windshield wiper the hips. We're swishing. That looks exactly how it sounds. Swish side to side. Open it up. And again, if you're feeling like your knees are even slightly uncomfortable, try one of the things. Put a towel, put a blanket, pause me, whatever. And give yourself the chance to do that. And then come back. When you're ready, we're going to take it to the opposite side. Again, option to keep the forearms down. I'm going to go back up. Option to keep the forearms down, opposite side. Shoulders stacked on top of the wrists. And then in line, left side. Wrist, shoulder, hip, knee, heel, all in line, like a plank or a push-up. Right knee still bent down 90 degrees. The whole right side looks like tabletop. Press back into that left heel, open it up, shift side to side. Anchor down the left big toe, roll it out. Roll onto the top of the foot. Maybe go up, send that hip up. And again, that's just a different stretch. It feels different. When you decide it's time for forearms, that's when it's time. It's fine. And then when you're ready, come to some stillness. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, we step it back into our tabletop. Windshield wiper the hips. Open it up. And we're going to come to our child's pose. So set the knees wide towards the outer edges of the mat. Big toes come in towards each other. Sink those hips back towards the heels. Walk the hands down and forward. The forearms can come down to the mat. Now, if you extend all the way out, slide it down, chest and forehead melt into the mat. Right? You have the option here, if this is as far as you're going to go, maybe you make a pillow for the head with the hands and you let the forehead rest. From here or here, you can sink those hips back, press into the forearms. The more you press into the forearms, the further back your hips are going to go towards the heels. If you're at your max, you're at your max. If your knees are together, you have no space for your belly to come down. So make sure your knees are wide towards the outer edges of the mat. Your knees are not up under you. Send the hips back towards the heels. Child's pose. Option here to let the forehead rest, and you can rest it on a block as well if that works for your body. But you can let the forehead rest. Maybe you wrap the arms around the sides of the body. That's an option. You can also interlace the fingers behind the back into a fist. Maybe send that fist up towards the crown of the head. This might feel like a really good stretch for your shoulders. If you're not feeling it, you're not into it, you don't have to do it. Release. You don't have to do it. You can just hang out in your child's pose. Slide the hands back underneath the shoulders. Press the floor away, lift the chest. Walk the hands forward, bring those knees in, resetting back into your tabletop. We're going to transition to your first downward dog. We're going to transition to your first downward dog of the day. Anytime I call down dog, you have three options. And this is anytime anybody calls down dog, you have three options. You can stay in your tabletop. If this is your active resting position, this is the work for you. This is the work that you can maintain. That's going to be helpful for you throughout the rest of your session. Great, take it. If you want to come up to down dog, find your alignment here with your hands spread wide, the same length distance as your shoulders, fingertips pointing towards the front edge of the mat, and then you tuck the toes, come up to your plank. I know this isn't the ideal way, but this is the alignment. Plank to down dog. You send those hips high, that's your down dog. This is the relationship. Your plank to your down dog. If coming up to the down dog and pushing the hips high feels uncomfortable for you, you can come down to the forearms and take the same shape. This can be better for you because it takes the weight out of the wrist. It can also be harder for you because of the way your weight shifts into your shoulders. It's worth giving a try. From here, you tuck the toes just like you would for your down dog, but your forearms are planted down. Press the floor away, send the hips high to your down dog, to your dolphin. Press the chest towards the thighs. And when we flow through our sun salutations, that's what you're gonna get. Your down dog, dolphin, or tabletop. Choose what works for your body. For our down dog, we tuck the toes, we send the hips high, we press the chest towards the thighs, long spine, wrap the elbows in, gaze back between the feet. So you can bend in the knees to make this more sustainable, right? That takes some weight out of the hands, out of the top half of the body, gives you a little bit more substantial of support on the bottom half of the body, especially if that's where your weight lies, right? From here, again, bend in the knees as much as needed. This is the more you bend the knees, the higher your heels will lift. From here, sink the heels down as much as possible, keeping your long flat back, wrapping the arms around and in towards the body, towards the center line of the body, shoulders down away from the ears. Gaze forward between the hands. Take tiny tiptoes on your way forward to your forward fold. Now, that doesn't work, or you were in your tabletop, so you didn't have the option to do that. right? From your down dog, you have the option to come down to the knees and then sweep one leg forward and step the other leg forward to meet in your forward fold, which works whether you want to come from your down dog and come down to the knees, or if you're coming from tabletop. Both of them do the same job. From here, bend in the knees, belly presses into the thighs, forward fold. We reach down and we touch the mat, gaze is down between the hands. You're looking down again. You are not looking up. You are not changing the direction of the spine. Hang heavy here, grab opposite elbow, swing and sway back and forth, left and right. Nod the head yes, shake the head no, loosen up the spine. Let it hang heavy. You might feel some extra popping happening down the spine. That's cool. Release the hands, come to some stillness. Inhale, halfway lift is important. Halfway lift. We spread the shoulders across the back, chest is parallel to the mat, hands come to the legs for support. Option here to squeeze the hands back or along the sides of the body if you want to work a little harder, get a little more work happening there. You don't have to. As we are here in our halfway lift, the spine is flat. It's just like your down dog, your tabletop, whatever. Flat spine, but your gaze is down towards the front edge of the mat. The crown of the head is reaching towards the wall in front of you. Exhale, we fold, release, touch the mat. Inhale, press into the heels, lift all the way up, roll all the way up. We open up the arms wide, sweep them up overhead, reverse swan dive all the way up. And then hands come to first, slide down the center line of the body. Exhale. So that's half of your sun salutation. We're going to do two more to get two full sun salutations to get ourselves warm. And then we'll let you breathe. And if you're moving forward from there, you go ahead to that next video, okay? From here, sun salutation. We inhale, sweep the arms up, reach up nice and tall. Think about this being down the center line of your body, right? Long spine. And then your shoulders, hips, knees, heels, all in those parallel lines. Again, railroad tracks, ladder. That's where you are in your head. Inhale here, nice and tall. Exhale, slide it down through center, bend in the knees, belly presses into the thighs, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back, shoulder blades squeeze back, chest is parallel to the mat, crown of the head reaches forward. Hands find the legs for support, or they can squeeze back. Exhale, place those hands down, walk it back, find your plank. Now for your plank, the full expression of plank, shoulders stacked on top of the wrist, and we're in line. Shoulder, hip, knee, heel, all in line. Ooh. Option to come down to the knees. Remember, your knees down is not a bad tabletop. It is a good modified plank. Send the hips forward. You should feel that low belly engagement. Fingertips forward, untuck the toes, wrap the elbows in, and the elbows are going to go back, squeezing into the ribs, lower down with control. When you feel like you can lower down with control from your modified plank, then maybe you go back to your full expression of plank, but until then, knees down always works. Untuck the toes, toenails kissing the mat, hands underneath the shoulders. We press the floor away, lift, cobra. Wrap those, squeeze the elbows into the side of the body. You're trying to touch your ribs here. You can bend in the elbows as much as needed. You can take a lower cobra. You can take a taller cobra. Exhale here, tuck the toes, send the hips back. Passing through your tabletop. Option to find your tabletop here, come down to the forearms to go up to dolphin, or press the floor away and come all the way up to your down dog, right? So remember how I said that plank was related? Remember, we lowered down from plank, lowered down, came up to our cobra, hands stayed in the same place, and then we send the hips back now to our dolphin tabletop or down dog. Again, hands in the same place. So remember, we are finding our flat spine, gaze back between the feet. Hands and feet should be about the same distance apart. Chest towards the thighs. Think of your body as upside down V, butt print pointing up to the ceiling. Gaze forward between the hands and then start to walk your way forward. Same option to come down to the knees and sweep the opposite leg forward this time. Step it forward to your fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back, shoulder blades squeeze back, chest is parallel to the mat. Hands come to the legs for support. Exhale, fold, touch. Inhale, press into the heels, sweep all the way up and over the head. Hands come to prayer. And slide down the center line of the body. Right back. That's your full sun salutation, from standing to standing, from mountain pose to mountain pose. One more full round. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. All the way down. Touch the mat, bend in the knees. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back, gaze down. Exhale, plank the hands down, find your way back to your plank. Long, straight line, shoulder, hip, knee, heel. Maybe it's knees, maybe it's forearms. Maybe it's both. The version that makes sense for your body. But it's not a bad tabletop. Lower down your way, elbows squeeze into the sides of the body. Untuck the toes, press the floor away, lift, cobra. If you feel really strong in your cobra, you really like it, you might want to press into the tops of the toes and lift for your up dog. That's not easy. Up dog is always optional. Exhale, we tuck the toes, engage the core, send the hips up and back, down dog, dolphin, or tabletop. 2 breaths here, find your alignment, long flat spine, wrap the elbows in, bend the knees as much as needed, sink the heels as much as possible, gaze forward, walk, maybe you step or hop, add some fanciness into it, find your way forward, inhale halfway, lift flat back, exhale, fold, touch the mat, inhale, sweep all the way up and over the head, hands to prayer, slide down through heart center. From here, we're just going to work our way back down to a seat. Inhale, lift. Exhale, slide the hands down for prayer. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back, gaze down. Exhale, plant the hands down, step back, find your plank. Lower down your way. Whatever makes sense for you. With control, untuck the toes, inhale, lift, cobra or up dog. Exhale, tuck the toes, send the hips high, down dog. Gaze forward. And we're just going to bend in the knees, come down to the mat. From here, you can sweep the legs around, come to a seat, and find your nice comfortable seat. We're going to take a few easy twists to kind of ease out of this, but you're done. You should feel a little bit of heat, a little bit more openness from the beginning of class, but we're going to just cool it down. So coming back to your tall spine, we're going to inhale, sweep both arms up, reach it nice and tall. Exhale, right hand comes down, reach the left arm long over the right side of the body, reaching for the wall on the right side. Gaze up to your left elbow. Inhale here. We're going to exhale, and then the next inhale, sweep both arms up, reach up your center. Opposite side, left hand comes down, we slide it out, reach, right arm overhead, gaze up to the right elbow. Feel the breath filter through the body, feel the heart rate slow down. Inhale, sweep it up your center. Exhale, fold over the legs. Again, if your legs need to be out in a different place, they can be out. You can slide a little further, take it. You can bend in the elbows and get a little deeper, take that too. Inhale, slide it all the way back. Find your tall spine. Settle in the breath here. We're going to take a quick seated circle here. Bring one hand to the belly, one hand to the chest. We're going to inhale, roll, tilt the hips forward, the belly forward, the chest forward. Inhale. Exhale, chest, ribs, belly. Feel it. Exhale, squeeze. Think about touching your elbows in the front together. Inhale, belly, ribs, chest, roll it forward. Squeeze the shoulder blades back. Exhale, chest, ribs, belly. Squeezing it forward. Making space and then finding your tall spine one more time with the hands released down into the lap. And I invite you to bring your eyes to a close again. Inhale, belly, ribs, chest, take up space. Exhale, chest, ribs, belly. Inhale, belly, ribs, chest. Exhale, chest, ribs, belly. Last time, inhale, belly, ribs, chest. Sip it all the way up to the top. Bring the hands to prayer or into the heart space in any meaningful way. Exhale, bow the forehead to the fingertips. The light in me honors the light in you. Thank you so much for being here. Now you have the option to play it back, do it again, get a full hour, get a little more stretching. You can also go ahead to any of my other videos and maybe you take the rest of a full class focused on a specific topic. You can go to one of the tutorials for a specific pose if that's how you ended up here in the first place. Or if you are looking for something different, remember that on my website, I have a subscription, a membership that has my live Zoom classes that I teach on Tuesdays and Saturdays, the recordings from those classes. So if you enjoyed this, you should definitely enjoy that. It has the full hour-long classes with specific focuses of what we're working on. So if you're looking for hips, if you're looking for heart openers, if you're looking for balance, whatever it is, you can find it in those titles. That is at thickthighyoga.com/group. That's called the Thighbrary. So you can get yourself a nice Thighbrary access card. If you want to come to my live classes on Tuesdays and Saturdays on Zoom, I have an unlimited membership with that as well. Thick Thigh Total. That gives you the Thighbrary access as well as all those live sessions. So I have a lot of options. If you want privates, I told you about that in the beginning. We can definitely work. We can work on whatever it is that you want to specifically work on in a private session. You can book those at thickthighyoga.com/private. I hope you enjoyed today's session. If you have questions, comments, poses that you are specifically wondering about, you can leave those down in the comments, and I would love to work with you.